Today I'm celebrating Blue Monday, even though that's not necessarily something we would think about celebrating, because Blue Monday, I'm not talking about the amazing song by New Order, I'm talking about a day which has been associated with the highest rates of suicide. Now, it's somewhat of an artifice. We don't actually see the greatest number of deaths on this particular day. It's just become a way of highlighting the need for mental health awareness, which I really consider to be a way of measuring how successful our communities are, because suicide is a phenomenon that seems to have grown out of the modern contemporary world, and which I associate with a lack of community. There's a beautiful story about African communities that if someone went silent, if someone was no longer participating in the life of the village and was seen quietly reflecting to themselves, someone would go and sit down next to them and wait for them to want to speak and share what was going on. And if they were waiting some time and still nothing was being said, another person would sit down and join them, and another person, until, if necessary, the whole village would be joined to await to find out what it was that was troubling this person. Whether or not that's a true story or not, I imagine that it is. Who knows how widespread it was, but for me that really typifies what goes on when people become troubled and isolate themselves. And it seems to me that those people often have a gift that they want to share that is not being shared, that is not being seen and is not being heard, is not being appreciated. To me it seems that people choose the path of suicide as a response to not really feeling that they have a place in this world. It's something that I empathise with greatly. So today I'm choosing to celebrate Blue Monday to help us to remember that when people are troubled, and it's, the reason they chose this particular day is because it's just after Christmas, it's after the festivities. There is a slight peak in suicides just after Christmas, just after New Year's, and it's also a time when people are struggling with debt and confronting issues of isolation. And it's very poignant to me right now. I've got big changes going on in my life, and it's like, wow, this new year, is it really something to look forward to? So I understand why people can sometimes take drastic measures at this period of time, but it doesn't actually. And Mondays are also days that people really struggle with after the weekend, back to work, back to the same old, whether that's being employed or not. So for many, many reasons, I can see why this day was chosen and why people adhere to it. And I think it's a positive thing to remember that we can all be affected. There are people in our lives who are likely affected by what is often termed as mental health. And I really don't know if that's the best way to think about it. We question someone's mental health for being maladjusted to what is actually